This is its financial history too, where money's past reveals tomorrow's truth. Most people think governments run countries, but in Italy, one family quietly pulls more strings than any prime minister ever has. They own Ferrari, they own Jeep and Maserati. They control billion-dollar banks and even global newspapers. And yet almost nobody knows their name. This is the secret dynasty that decides whether Italy rises or crashes. Welcome to its financial history too. In Italy, there's one family whose influence stretches from luxury cars to global media, from football stadiums to the very core of Europe's financial system. They control Ferrari, Jeep, Chrysler, Maserati, and even the Economist. They own a $2 billion football club, and they're tied to Italy's biggest bank. Yet most people don't even know their name. The Agnellis aren't just Italy's Rockefellers. They re a dynasty that can sway Italy's economy with a single decision. At one point, they directly controlled nearly 30% of the Italian stock market and employed over 360,000 people worldwide. And here's the craziest part. They built this power not by choosing sides, but by choosing every side: fascists, allies, communists, whoever held the winning cards at the time. So buckle up. This is the unbelievable story of the family that quietly steers Italy's destiny. A dynasty born in the shadows, Italy has always been a land of families. Power passed not through elections, but through bloodlines. From the Perellis to the Benettins to the Berlusconis, old money shapes the country. But none of them compare to the Agnellis. Their story begins with Fiat, the company that didn't just build cars, it built modern Italy. At their peak, Gianni Agnelli's companies alone made up 8% of Italy's entire GDP. That meant government policy and Fiat's interests often moved in lockstep. But before that empire existed, the Agnellis were just a small family in Turin with one risky idea: build cars in a country where barely anyone had seen one. The origin: 1899 Italy was young, poor, divided. But Giovanni Agnelli, ex-soldier, full of ambition, saw opportunity where others saw chaos. In 1899, he co-founded Fabbrica Italiana Automobili Torino, Fiat. The first factory had 35 workers. They built just 24 cars in the first year. Tiny numbers, but revolutionary for Italy. Giovanni introduced new production methods, bought key patents, and modernized everything. The company grew fast. By 1906, Fiat was producing thousands of cars and had already opened a dealership in New York, before most Italians even owned a bicycle. But then came trouble. The first great scandal in 1908, Fiat was shaken by a financial scandal. Executives were accused of falsifying accounts and inflating stock prices. Giovanni was dragged into court, accused of manipulation. He walked free, but the scandal changed him. He became cautious, strategic, politically aware. That mindset would guide the family for generations. War, the first power move. When World War I began, Giovanni moved fast. Fiat shifted overnight into war production: trucks, tanks, engines, aircraft parts. The profits were enormous, and critics accused him of war profiteering. So Giovanni did what he did best. He backed the rising power of the moment, Benito Mussolini. Fiat supported Mussolini early, and Mussolini later protected the company during inquiries into their wartime profits. It was a dangerous partnership, but it secured Fiat's future. During World War II, Fiat again supplied the Italian military, and by extension, Nazi Germany. But when the tide turned, Giovanni quickly pivoted, claiming sympathy for the Allies. It was survival, nothing more. Even after the war, when authorities temporarily seized Agnelli assets, the punishment was brief. Fiat was too important to Italy to dismantle. The Crown Prince, Gianni Agnelli. After the war, the torch passed to Giovanni's grandson, Gianni Agnelli, the most iconic businessman Italy has ever produced. By 1966, he was chairman and CEO, and under him, Fiat became a global giant. In the middle of the Cold War, he shocked the world by partnering with the Soviet Union, building a massive factory that produced 500,000 cars a year. Profit mattered more than ideology. Fiat expanded across continents. They acquired Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Lancia, turning Fiat into an unmatched automotive empire. By the 1980s, 1 in every 5 Italian manufacturing workers was tied directly or indirectly to Fiat. Entire towns lived and breathed the company. The realization: Politics has limits. In the 1970s, the Agnellis tried to buy Citroën through their friends, the Michelin family. The deal was nearly done until French President Charles de Gaulle personally blocked it. That's when Gianni realized, even billion-euro empires can be stopped by a single politician. So the family changed strategy. They wouldn't just build industries. They would shape information. Controlling the narrative, Gianni started with La Stampa, Turin's main newspaper. Decades later, his grandson John Elkann expanded this into a media empire. Exor, the family holding company, bought Italy's largest media group, GEDI, La Repubblica, La Stampa, 13 regional newspapers, and major radio stations. Then came the big one, 43% of the Economist group, one of the most influential publications in the world. This wasn't just media ownership. It was control over global narratives, investor sentiment, political framing, power through perception. Beyond Italy, power in Europe in 2016, Exor moved its legal base to the Netherlands, giving the family more flexibility, fewer restrictions, and greater global reach. By 2024, they held major stakes in data, analytics, tech, healthcare, and industrial companies, including a large position in Clarivate, a key global data firm. This allows the Agnellis to understand trends, patents, research, markets before the rest of the world. Information becomes power. And power becomes profit, controlling what people love. Real influence isn't just economic, it's emotional. And nothing moves Italians like football. In 1923, the Agnellis became owners of Juventus. The club's success built nationwide loyalty. Every championship strengthened the family's cultural power. Then came Ferrari. Fiat bought 50% of Ferrari in 1969 and eventually owned 90%. Today, Exor and Piero Ferrari jointly control 48% of voting power. Ferrari is not just a car brand, it's a myth, a symbol. By owning it, the Agnellis tied their identity to prestige, luxury, and national pride. The modern architect, John Elkann today, John Elkann controls a 40 billion euros empire. Soft-spoken, rarely political in public, but he's influential behind every major industrial conversation in Europe. He sits in elite clubs, business roundtables, and policy forums where Europe's future is drafted. The Agnellis don't need public office. They're already in the rooms where decisions are made. The final question, for over a century, through wars, dictatorships, economic crises, and political upheavals, the Agnellis survived every shift, not by being loyal, but by being adaptable. They've shaped industries, media, culture, sports, and policy quietly, steadily, strategically. So we're left with a question. Is Europe truly governed by democracy? Or by dynasties that never really disappeared? If you made it to the end, drop an emoji in the comments. Check out my video on the Wallenbergs, Europe's silent banking dynasty. And don't forget to subscribe to my Substack using the QR code or the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the channel for more deep, powerful documentaries just like this. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories every week.